Uh, yeah. Good evening, everyone. Uh, Welcome to the second problem solving session for this course on MATLAB programming for numerical computation. So my name is Syed Shabbir Ahmed. I'm a research scholar in IIT Madras. So as you know, this course is brought to you by Professor Niket Kaisare, who is also faculty in Department of Chemical Engineering in IIT Madras. So I am from the Applied Mechanics department. Oh, this course is like kind of uh, like you can say an interdisciplinary course for everyone who does coding or who wants to do coding, who wants to take the help of programming and numerical computations uh, in their work. So it's like uh, almost everyone who is in engineering will have gone through uh, um, the use of numerical computations. Like maybe you might have taken a course in numerical methods. Like you might have gone through some numerical integration techniques like trapezoidal rule, Simpson's one-third rule, or etc. So similarly, like anyone who wants to do programming, like computers, whatever the computers do, the calculations of computers are dependent on these numerical methods only. Like whatever the function which you use, everything. So they do it numerically. They cannot do it analytically. So we are going to learn going. We have just started off. So we are just learning about the different aspects of MATLAB, how we are, how we have to write a code, how we have to use MATLAB, how we have to write scripts, plot things, uh, and what is the interface, how does the GUI look like. So all these things we have learned, like little bit of flavor we got in the last week. So in this week, I mean the second week, uh, in module 2, we have seen the use of loops and their execution. And also we have gone through defining functions and uh, differences between a function and a script, and how we can use the functions to solve different things, like what are the advantages of them and how to write functions. And also we have seen some good practices to write uh, functions in MATLAB. And we have also seen, I think, a little bit of debugging uh, the codes. Like debugging is nothing but in order, like if there are any errors in our code, like you go back to the code and you rectify them, find out what is the error, and then go and rectify those errors. So I think that's what the second week was about. So it's like continuation of MATLAB itself. Like we haven't gone into numerical computation yet. So, but uh, like next week, I think we'll be starting slowly getting into those things. So, so first we'll see, like we'll see different things which we have seen in the uh, week two. So, so this is a demo for loop and while loop. So this is a code. So and you can just see we are just trying to do the sum of squares using the for loop here. So in the first part of this code, from here to here, we are trying to do sum of squares using the for loop. And in the next part, we are using while loop for doing the same thing. So you can see how the syntax, like we have seen uh, how the syntax, we have learned it in the first lecture of this module, week two, second week's module. So for loop has to be written like this. So you have to write for, and then you give. the range of values for which you want to execute the statement in the for loop. So this statement is executed from 1 to n. So n times it will be executed based upon the uh, values of I, if for like I the value of I will go from 1 to n. So we'll see. Uh, so I want to uh, do the sum of squares of 10 numbers. So from 1 to 10, I want to do the sum of all the numbers. So first I'll declare a variable sum of squares. So initially I'll take it as 0 and I'll use it again. So I'll use it again and I'll change it. Let's see how it goes. So so as I've said, I have to uh, uh, do the sum of squares of numbers from 1 to 10. So that's why I'm taking for I is equals to 1 colon n. So 1 colon n, we know that 1 colon n means the values of I goes from 1 to n. So it creates a vector from 1 to n. So here n is 10. It means I will have values from 1 to 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So, and first it will take, so then I am taking this variable sum of squares and I am assigning this sum of squares, which I already have sum of squares plus I square. So initially I will be equal to 1. So sum of squares is 0. I will be equals to 1 and we will square this and we'll store the value in sum of squares. So now the value of sum of squares is 1. Then I is equals to 2 will go to the next value. So I is equals to 2. So you already have sum of squares 1 plus 2 square. So 1, or you can say 1 square plus 2 square. So the sum of squares value will be updated again. So then again we have 3. So sum of squares will be equals to 1 square plus 2 square plus now 3 square. So we'll keep on doing this till the value of I reaches n. After that, this for loop will end and we can print the sum of squares. So I am using a printf. So formatted print, you can say. You can also use display, but I'm using it because I don't have to change it into like a again I don't have to change it into string. So if I use display, like I have to change the sum of squares into a string. Like I cannot print it as it is as an integer. So so now you can see that this percentage d. So this will be the string which will be printed in the output, and percentage d indicates the output which will be printed is an integer here. So like I am not converting it into a string. So slash n means going to a new line. Let's see how I'll just execute this part and evaluate. So CLC clear also I'm giving because I want to clear this and I also want to clear the variable space. Okay. So you can see that sum of squares for loop is equals to 385. So we have printed the output. Okay. So this is the output which looks like. So this is using the for loop. Now, if I want to do the same thing using the while loop, I'll do the same thing. Initially, I'll declare a variable sum of squares and I'll put it equal to 0. So, and I'll write a while loop. So I initially I'll take this value of I is equals to 1 and I'll run a loop of while I'll run a while loop in which value of I will be less than or equal to n. So it means that this while loop will go on till this condition is satisfied. Okay. So if this condition is not satisfied, then the while loop will end and the next part of the program will be printed. So initially I will be equals to 1, which is less than or equal to 10, and sum of squares will do the same statement. And then in order to go to the next element, in order to go to the next number, we'll do I is equals to, now we'll change the value of I, and we are incrementing the value of I. So I is equals to I plus 1 is nothing but incrementing. So now you'll go to 2. So 2 is less than or equal to n. So then you will go. Then after that you will go till 10. You will this while loop will go on till 10. So then after that you can see that value of I will become I is equals to 10 plus 1. It will become 11. So 11 is not less than or equal to 1. So this will end, and the while loop will end, and we can use the program will execute the next line. So let's see the output. What does the output this thing? So you can see this is the sum of squares of using the while loop. So in for loop, the thing is you can define a range for the I values for which the loop will run. So you can give I for I is equals to you can give a vector also here. You can give a array also, or you can give a range like one is to n. You can also give like increments of 2, 1 is to 2 is to n. So means uh, 1, then 3, 1, then 5, then 7, like that also you can give. In while loop, you have to give a condition up to which this while loop will get executed. So this is the condition here. So value of I should be less than or equal to n. So till the condition is satisfied, these statements in the while loop will get executed. Otherwise, this will break out of the loop and the next part of the code will be executed. So this is how we saw a while loop and a for loop are used. So this is a very simple demo. Like as we go on, as we go on in the course, we can find more complicated such examples we can see. So let's, yeah, yeah. Somebody wants to speak.
Yes, sir. Sir, I have. Can you just clarify when to use this switch and break in loops? Switch and break.
Switch and break. Okay. Switch and break are like you use it to check your code. Like if like you don't want error to stop your program, so you will use switch and break so that the program, whenever there is an error in your program, this break and switch conditions will enable, like it will print some statement, and then you can continue running the program. Like you don't have to stop. Like I'll just give an example of switch and break. Right? Yeah. Okay. Just give a minute. Hello? Can you hear me? I have some problem. Can anyone respond in the chat box or here? Oh. Wait, 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 wait. Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Ah, okay, okay, okay. So I'll just show an example of break. Okay. So switch is something which I haven't seen. Uh, maybe uh, I'll learn about it. I haven't used it yet, so I don't know what is the point of using switch. So break is something like, say for example, here you want to uh, get as a you want to want to find a specific value in an array. So we have an array, let's say 3, 5, 8, 10, and 15, and like you want to target this value 10. So you want to find this value of 10 in this array. So what you will do, you will write a for loop. We'll write a for loop, and we will see, we will check for each value. Okay, so for loop, so it runs from first array value to the last array value. We are doing it from first to last. Okay, so I'm giving a condition here. I think we haven't also got this. We haven't also seen this if else conditions uh, in this module. I think maybe in the next week it will get introduced or something. But if else something, if else conditions are nothing but like, if my condition, if I am given, like I'm giving a condition, if this condition is getting satisfied, the uh, then the code in this uh, then the line of code will be executed in this loop. So if not a loop, like you can say, if some condition is getting satisfied, this lines below uh, the condition will get satisfied. So if array I is equals to the target, like array of I, so array of I means like, first uh, we are accessing the first element of the array. If first element of the array, which is 3, is equals to target, which is not here, so display target is found, and you will end display target is found at index, and you will uh, uh, print that index, and you will break out of this loop. Okay, you will not go to each and every element of this loop again, searching. Okay, so if, because I don't need to break my head, not break my head, but computer doesn't need to use its computational resources to run it again and check all the other values if there is 10 uh, in this uh, array. So here, firstly, we will have three. This condition won't get satisfied, and then it will go to the second element 5. This condition is not getting satisfied. Then it will go to the third element. This condition is not getting satisfied. Then it will go to then the fourth element, and this condition is getting satisfied. And because condition is getting satisfied, we will break out of this loop. I won't go to the fifth element here. So in this way, you can use break. So this is one example. You can use like a lot of other examples. Like you can break it. Like if some condition is not getting satisfied in your loop, you can break the loop, and you can do the uh, you can execute the other command. So we have gone out of the for loop, and the other command will be executed. Search completed. This display will it will display like whatever, like some other things also, if you have written in your script, those other things will be getting executed. Okay, so this is one example of break. I don't know, like switch I haven't used. I think that's like more uh, like you want to have, like if you have some like lot of use cases, I think if you want to switch between those use cases, you can use switch. But I don't have knowledge about it, so I won't come, like I won't say. But break is like this is one example of break. Like you want to break out of a loop if some condition is met, or similarly, if some condition is not met, you want to break out of the loop anywhere. If you want to break out of the loop and you don't want the loop to keep running uh, again and again, then you can use this break command. So this is how we use break. Uh, is it fine? Like, or you need another example or
Ah, yes, sir.
something? Okay. Okay. So
Sir,
the
one more
loops. Yeah, yeah,
clarification.
yeah,
Hello.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Sir, as we know
Please.
that MATLAB, it is always, no, by default, it's going to take as float values. Uh,
Yeah, yeah.
let us suppose, no, I want to check whether a given number is
Hmm.
integer or not. Is it possible in MATLAB to check?
Yeah, yeah. If the given number is integer or not, like, yeah, yeah, you can
Yes.
do it. I
What
think
could be the no, logic, sir? Because are
what
we thinking
could
of
be.
dividing and remainder should be zero, quotient should be natural number? Is it something like that?
Yeah, yeah. I think you can mm, integer values. Yeah, yeah. Maybe I think you can use the division. Yeah, division rule you can use. Uh, or I think there are like lot like inbuilt commands in MATLAB using which you can uh, check if the given number is an integer or not. I'll just check. I'll just check. If there are functions, any function. Uh, Yeah, there are, I think, these three methods to check if it's an integer, if your if your function is an sorry, if your number is an integer or not. So one is you can divide it by you can divide a number by one, and you can see if the remainder is zero or not. So if the remainder is zero, then the number is integer, and if it is not, then you will be getting some value, remainder as some value. If the remainder is not zero, then you can say that the number is not an integer. Or you can also use this floor and seal functions in MATLAB. So floor means, so uh, if whatever the value of the number you are taking, let's say you are giving some number. What happened? There in assignments, how many decimal places we need to enter if it is beyond the, or if we get number with no decimal places. See, in assignments, what happens is like you can, whatever the answer you get in MATLAB, you enter it. So it's like the correct answer will be chosen based upon a range. They will have given some range. Let's say if your answer is 125, they would have given from, let's say, 120 to 130. Reasonable range will be there. If your answer lies between this range, it will be considered as a correct answer. So you don't need to worry about how many integers to give after decimal and all these things. Or they might have sometimes they might have also given you like how many integers uh, to type. But for every answer, for every numerical question, there will be a range. Okay. So floor of in MATLAB, there is like this function, right? So you can write a simple code like this. So let's say my number is equal to 10. Or you can say input. So we'll see how this we can use this input command. So input command can be used whenever you want the user to give input while running the code. So enter the number. So this string will come. We'll see how this will come. Input my number, and then if floor of the number, my number is equal to my number, then you can say display the number is an integer. Else you can say display it is not an integer. And you have to end it. Every time we are writing, every time we write some kind of a function in MATLAB, not function, a loop, like a if else thing or for loop or a function. So it always has to end with, it always like has to end with this comment end. So otherwise there will be an error. So So the thing is, like, I'll first, I'm in this code, in order to write, in order to find if my number is a integer or not, I'll take the input from the user, whatever the number he gives, let's say 10 or something. Then I'll check using the if else condition if the floor of my number. So floor of my number means whatever the value, uh, uh, like, let's say if you are taking 10.4. So if you are taking 10.4 and checking the floor of 10.4, you will get value of that value as 10. The ceiling of that value of is like floor means nearest possible integer to my number. So I'm just checking in the command line what is floor of 10.4, let's say. So floor of 10.4 is 10. That is called floor. So nearest uh, possible integer uh, to 10 mean which is less than 10.4. Like if I want to get the nearest possible integer which is greater than 10.4, let's see what I'll get. Seal of 10.4. Then I'll get 11. So if floor of 10.4 is equal to 10.4, then it is an integer, but it is not. So if condition is not getting satisfied, then we'll go to else. So else it is not an integer. Let's say if I give 10 here, if floor of 10 is equal to 10 itself, floor of 10 is 10 only. There is no other thing. Floor of 10 is 10. If floor of 10 is equal to 10, then you can say display the number is an integer. Or if floor of, or you can also give here seal. Seal also can be used instead of floor. So let's say I execute it. So it is asking me enter the number. So I have given this command, right? Input. So it is asking, MATLAB is asking the user the input for which he wants to check. Let's say I'll give 95. I have entered the number and then click enter. It is saying the number is an integer. Now again, if I want to check for another number, I'll run the section. Let's say 45.6. It is saying it is not an integer. So this is a simple uh, logic you can use. Otherwise, if you don't want uh, to use this MATLAB floor function, you can also use this. You will give a number as it says, then you will divide it with 1. So let's say if you have 10 and you are dividing with let's say 10.4 you have. So if you are dividing 1 with 10.4, you will have uh, quotient as 10 and the remainder will be whatever the value remaining 10.4 minus 10 will be zero point 0.4. So it is remainder is not equal to 0, then it will say display is not the number is not an integer. If the remainder is equal to 0, then it will say the number is an integer. So this is, I think, we are also seeing the use of if else statements here. So like this we can check. And also I think there is a function, uh, this is integer. I think is integer. Okay, is integer is not. I think you have to learn again data types and all. We won't go there. So these these are two kind of methods logics you can use. to check if a number is integer or not. But yeah, these won't be useful for you. Uh, these are, I think, like maybe if you are uh, uh, like doing some uh, uh, giving some job interview or somewhere, like a coding based job, then you might get this. But these kind of questions, or like whatever we are discussing today, all kind of questions. Otherwise, we won't. Uh, in this course, we won't be learning after I think third week or fourth week. We'll be going deeply into this matrices and numerical methods. Okay.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, can you suggest a book by using MATLAB for numerical methods where you can still more,
You,
with any books, or even you
mm,
can send a copy of it in our portal. It will be great help, sir.
MATLAB, uh, MATLAB, a lot of books are there, but yeah, I'll just check if there is a in the NPTEL. Okay,
Yeah, yeah, actually both for OD and PD, sir.
ODs and PDs.
It will be
Okay.
great help. Thank you.
Have you gone through the course description? If there are any,
Sir, I
okay.
have gone through, but there is no. They said material. The material when we go through, no, the PPT which has been used to explain by Sir Kesari sir, that is there, but there is
Okay.
no
But yeah,
textbook
yeah, yeah,
available.
yeah, yeah. See this
Yeah,
book is there. These two books are there. Uh,
that's what. Can we get a soft copy
Faucet.
of that at least in our portal?
You want a
Because
copy
I
of
try
that?
to Google it. Yeah, yeah. In our portal, if you can upload, it will be great help for us.
Okay. Okay. I don't know. See, I'll upload. Okay. I'll upload in the this week's folder. I'll upload. Okay. If I if I get the copies of it, I'll upload. If I have the access or somehow I'll get it. Okay. Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. Now I think for loops and while loop we have seen. Maybe we'll go to what can we see? Functions. So now here I want to calculate the factorial of a number. So factorial, I think all of you know. So 5 factorial means 5 into 2, 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 up till 1. So you will take all the values and multiplies. So multiply and get whatever the value you get is called the factorial. So I want to compute it by using a function. So for that, so what I'll do is I'll define a function, compute factorial, and I'll give whatever the number which I want to compute the factorial for, and this function will give me some result, and I'll print the result. So how I am going to write the function? So function for this looks like this. So function for a factorial. So we have to see that uh, this is the name of the function, and the name of the function file should also be same. Otherwise, MATLAB will throw an error that both are not same. So we are defining this function in a separate script, and you can also see this uh, compute factorial. So the symbol of it is like it is not having MATLAB logo, but it is like having a logo like this fx. So whatever the functions you define will have this kind of logo beside them on the left side. So in order to compute the factorial, let's say I'll take uh, fact which I want to calculate. Initially, it will be equal to 1, and then I'll run a for loop here from 1 to n. So n is the number for which I want to calculate the factorial. So what this loop does is initially take this first value, it takes the first value and multiply it with 1. It will store it and then it will go to the next value in the loop. So I after 1, it will go to 2 and it will take 1 into 2, and then after 2 it will go to uh, and so 2 will be stored in fact, 2 will be stored in fact now. So value of fact has changed. And then you will take 3. So 2 into 3. So till 5, it this for loop gets executed, and the value of fact which was 1 earlier, now it is changed to something else. Okay. And after doing this entire thing, I am getting this output fact from this function. Okay. So this is the output variable. This is my output variable. And this is my input variable of the function. You have to remember this. Like you have to give the output variable, and also you have to give the input variables for which you want to execute the function. So if you don't give like if there is an error, then MATLAB will again give something. So now you can see that you can change the names. Okay. So here it is n and here it is num. It won't matter. Like whatever you give, it won't matter because the value is going here. So the value of 5 will go into the function, and this function uh, will perform all these operations, and it will spit you an output. And you can again change the name of the output variable. So instead of fact, I am taking a result here. So this, if I run it, it is saying the factorial of 5 is 120. So 5 into 4 is 20, uh, and 20 into 3 is 60, 60 into 2 is 120, and 120 into 1 is 1, 120. So this is how I can use function. So the thing is, I can use this function again here. The advantages of writing functions is, let's say I want to calculate uh, result 2. Let's say I want to calculate factorial for another number, another number. So let's say, uh, let's say what you can say, number 2. 2 is equals to, let's say, 10. And I'll print again what is the value of this. So this is num2. So you can see that I have 2 percentage D's here. So first percentage D will take the value of integer which I'm giving here, the value of the number, and the second percentage D will take the value of the result. Okay. So result 2. So now if I do run this, you can see factorial of 5 is sorry. You can say it is saying factorial of 5 is 120, and factorial of 10 is also 120, which is wrong. Why is it wrong? Can anybody point out? I have done some mistake here. So this is you can say kind of a debugging thing for you. Can anybody point out the error which I have done in this program.
num2, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So in the seventh line, you can see that result to compute factorial. Instead of taking num2, I have taken num only. So which means it is taking again 5. That should not be the case. So I have to give my input properly, and if I give num2 here, this will give me the value of factorial of 5 and factorial of. So this is how I can use this function again and again in my program. So there will be in future we'll be writing scripts, we'll be writing a lot of programs in which we will want to do same kind of calculations again and again. So for that, if I haven't defined this function, what you have to do is you have to write this code again. So if you are not using function and you are writing a script, so you will do this again and again. So you have to, let's say, if I write this as a script, I'll just give an example. Let's say I'll comment this. So whenever you want to comment something in MATLAB, some lines of code, you can see this. You can select the lines of code and you can see on the top. You can click on it and it will be commented. Or also you can select and you can uh, click Control plus R. The these points will be commented. It means that these lines of code won't be executed. It will be there as it is. So whenever we write codes, like sometimes we will write some lines of code and we won't want to execute it. We can just comment them and keep it like that. So let's say I want to find out uh, first the value of uh, num. First the value of factorial of let's say factorial. I'll say factorial 1, and this is factorial 1, and this is factorial 2. And let's say I'll display this. I'll use this command. I don't need this. So factorial of 5 I want to calculate. So I'll calculate. I have written this code. I'm just writing this lines of code in the script. I'm not using any defining any function, and I'll run it. There is some error here, which is so there is no result. So I have not result is commented here. That's why there is no variable called result. So I have to change it. So here instead of result, fact one is my answer. So I'll replace it with fact one. So classic example of errors in MATLAB. You will forget that you have changed the variable because there is no result variable. I am getting a error here. If there is some result variable which has some other value, it will be printed and you will not know what error you would have done. So we have to be very careful while writing the codes. So should always be on toes. Okay. So I'll run it. Let's see what I'll get. So factorial of 5 is 120. So now if I want to calculate the factorial of 10, so what I have to do? Again, I have to write another line of, so these same lines of code. I want to calculate the factorial of 5. Also, I want to calculate the factorial of 2. So here, the thing is, I am just copying it and pasting again. But see, each line I have to change. Fact 1, fact 2, like this, like this, like this. Num2 and fact 2. I have to do these changes. This code is very short. Okay. So these lines are very small. You will be having like lot of lines of code which you want to execute again. So this like taking it again and writing the code and changing every time will be a like a tiresome task. Like you won't be able to do. Instead of that, we have a smart way to do it. That is by declaring a function. We will write a function, and whenever we need to calculate some value or get some value, we can call that function and give the output. So at various stages of my code, I can give this change this value of input, and for that input, my function will spit out an output, and I can take it and go forward to execute the other lines of code. So this writing like heavy lines of code again and again, it will be a tiresome task. So smart way of like if you want to run some lines of codes again and again, you define a function and use that function whenever you want it in your code. So this is the headache like you will get if you are not using functions. So be smart and use like these kind of things. So this is efficient way of doing programming by defining functions and taking it. So if you are not using it, like things will be become inefficient, and your lines of code will become like very huge. Like this is a very small program, as I've said. Like you will end up doing some mistake here, as I have done. Like variables, lot of variables will be there, and you will end up doing some mistake, and your code will throw a lot of errors, and again it will be frustrating to debug it again and again. So that's how we can use uh, functions in our code. So that is the efficiency it offers. Like you can use it, you can use the same thing and again. So you don't need to uh, like same lines of, you don't need to write it same lines of code again to do the operations. Okay. Now we will see some other thing. I think we have gone. We'll see structures. Okay. So that thing. So now I have two code. Okay. So this is a structure. This is an example of using structures in MATLAB to define some parameters and uh, store them in the structure and use it somewhere, like use it as a function input and calculate something. So here I have written this code to calculate the volume of something. Volume of this is a volume of a cube, you can say, not a cube, uh, uh, some structure whose length, width, and height is there, and I want to calculate its volume. So so I am defining a structure params. So this is the structure params. In this params structure, I have this field params dot length. Length is one field, width is one field, and height is one field. And I'll assign these values to those fields, and I'll store these all will be stored in my params structure. Okay. Then I am defining a volume to calculate the volume. I'm defining a function here. So in this, you can see uh, calculate volume. It is taking params, which is the structure, as the uh, input, and from that I am uh, taking the different fields, which is length, width, and height, and getting the values of my parameters and calculating the volume. Okay. And after that, the function will assign, uh, will return an output, which is volume, to me in the script where the function is being used. So volume is equals to calculate volume of params. So if I do this, so it is giving me a volume which is 150. So the advantage of using this structure is like you won't get confused. So let's say if I'm not using a structure, okay? Let's say if I'm not using a structure and I'll just change it to uh, L, B, H. These are my input parameters and I'll change, okay? L, B, H, L, B, H. Okay. So L, B, H are the inputs you have to give, and based on L, B, H, the volume will be calculated, and you will get a. Let's say I want to uh, instead of let's say volume is not L into B into H. Let's say it is L into B plus H. I know it is wrong, but I'm just changing. This is not volume actually, but let's say the formula for volume is L into B plus H. Okay, and now I'll define here some values L. This you can I'll just also explain that. Okay, this is B and this is H. Okay, now I have to give my input arguments. Let's say I am giving B, comma H, comma L. So these are my three arguments which I am giving. Now this will calculate the volume or whatever the function which you want to execute, and it will give you an output. Okay, just run it. Just run it. You can see that you are getting the value as 25. So if you do, let's say, a simple hand calculation, so you can see that you have L is equals to 10 and B is equals to 5. 10 into 5 is 50 plus H is equals to 53 is the answer you should get. But you are getting 25 here. Why are we getting 25? Can anybody tell me why are we getting 25 instead of 50? So there is some kind of mistake. I have given all the parameters as inputs. So uh, all the parameters inputs, whatever I have defined is correct, but I'm getting some error. The answer is not correct here. Why is the reason? Can anybody tell me? If you know, can you hear me? Hello, hello, hello.
Yes, sir, we
Yeah,
can hear you. Can you just
yeah, yeah.
show the main code, sir?
I want to go. Ah, okay. Yeah, see the code. Why are we getting this?
Sir, can you please show
You,
the function code, sir? Function code.
yeah, yeah. You see, yeah.
Sir, it
So
should
in
be
volume, it is given
multiplied
as
there.
L B plus
Yeah,
H. It should be into H.
yeah, yeah. Okay, the thing is, like what you are saying, uh, someone was saying, right? Someone was saying something. I couldn't hear. Can you tell it again?
Sorry.
Sir, instead of plus, there should be multiplication.
Yeah, yeah. I have said that I'm changing it. Okay. Uh, it is not the volume. Okay. It is not volume. Okay. See, see, 10 into 5 is 50 plus h is 53, right? 10 into 5, 50 plus 3 is 55. But you are getting the value as 25. I'll just change this. I'll say some variable. Okay. This is not volume. Okay. This is not volume. Calculate somewhere. This is not volume. Okay. Variable. I'm just giving some example. Forget that this is volume. Okay. I'm just executing this function. Okay. So 10 into 5, like I have written this code. The function should execute 10 into 5 plus h. 10 into 5 plus h, which is 10 into 5 plus 3 should be equal to 53, right? But if I run it, I'm getting the value as 25. I am giving everything, whatever I have got, I am giving three input variables, L, B, H, everything is fine, but there is some error. You see both these things. Okay.
Sir, is there a matter of order? Because if
Yeah,
we
yeah,
multiply b into h, it is 15
yeah,
and plus 10 is 25.
yeah. Excellent, excellent. So the thing with MATLAB is the order matters here. Input variables, whatever you have given here, the order matters. So the name of the variable doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whatever you give. The order of the variables which you have defined in the function matters. So L you have given here. So whatever the first thing it comes here will be taken here. Okay. Whatever the second thing which comes in this will be taken by this. And whatever the third thing which comes will be taken by this. So the thing is like while defining these variables, you have to be very careful and you should give the order accordingly. So L, comma B, comma H. Okay. So the thing is, I can also change this names. Okay. Length, breadth, and height. This is length, breadth, height. So you can change the name of the variables. You should like you might not want to use that same input variables you might have defined in the function. You can use different variables also. But the thing is, whatever the order of the variables you have defined in your function should also match here. So first length should come, then breadth should come, and then height should come. Otherwise, whatever the first thing, if you have given breadth here instead of length, it will take length as breadth and it will do the calculations. So that's why this is a headache. Like if you have lot of variables like this, things will get messy. Like if you like one or two variables become here and there, entire calculation will be wrong. So that's why we are using uh, parameters, structures uh, here. So we have defined a structure which is params dot breadth and params dot height. Okay.
How do we include the function calculate volume here? How we use
How
in
to?
C, we use include we in C language we use include that file name dot h. So here
Yeah, yeah.
calculate what is that? Yeah, how do we do it here?
Here just you write the function name, calculate volume and height. So this is a very like MATLAB is a high level programming language. Okay, we don't need to use all this like very heavy lines of code. Like in C, we also have to give, I think, define the uh, names of the like data types of the variables which we are giving. Like is it like if you are defining some variable, you have to tell C like is it an integer or is it a float? Like if it is a decimal, if it is a float, or is it a string? All these things, different things you have to do. In MATLAB, everything is like very written on a very high level. So you don't need to use these commands like hash include and all these things.
Okay.
Only thing you
So
have to do is yeah, yeah.
yeah, the
You,
calculate volume.m, I have to put it in the same folder. Is it like that or?
yeah, yeah. The thing is, like, if your directory changes, again, your MATLAB won't be able to, like, here you can see in week two, I have written all these codes.
Okay.
So this should be in the same directory. In week two only, it should be there. The function calculate volume should be there in the same directory. If it is not there,
Okay.
MATLAB won't be able.
And the function name and the file name is exactly same, right?
Yeah, yeah. Function, whenever you are defining a function, the file name should be same as the file's name.
Okay. Function name. Yeah. Thank you.
Let's say if I am not giving like this, so it will give a warning here. Okay,
Okay.
so you will tell MATLAB to fix, it will fix.
Okay.
So I will write this function uh, in a file, function file, and I'll just call it. I don't need to use anything here, like the hash include all these things, because MATLAB is a high level language. So C is also a high level language, but it's like it's developed. MATLAB is like simpler. Python, for example, Python is also like a simpler language than C. MATLAB is also kind of that only. So that's why. So as I have said, so param structures we use for this for this reason, that we don't need to like get be worried about the order of the variables. So the thing is, I'll also include, let's say it's here params. So params dot length. So the thing is, you have to be very careful about it. The field names should be as it is. Like here we have defined the field names as length, breadth, and height. So here also the field names should be those only. So this name can change. Okay. Let's say this. I am just saying par. Okay. But the field names should be same. Par dot breadth, par dot height. Okay. These field names should be same. Otherwise, there will be an error. So now, if I run this, so there is some error. So I have messed up the spelling here. So it is saying that unrecognized field name breadth. So breadth is not a field name because I have not given, I have written the spelling of breadth as breath. So D was not there. So that's why it is showing an error. So I have corrected it. Let's see now run it. Now you can see the value of thing, whatever the function which we are executing is equal to 53. So this is the reason we should be using params here. So we should define not params. We should define a structure and store all the variables in the fields of that structure and then access it in our function and perform the calculations. Otherwise, order, if there is some messing up which happened in the ordering of your variables, like if you have some 10 variables, if you do one thing here and there, everything will get messed up. So that is why like we should be using structures to define our variables. So you can see this is how it looks like. So length, width, height. So I think this this is not wrong because I have to. It has stored the previous values also. CLC clear all. So it is always a good practice whenever you are executing code, like a new code, to include these two things. Otherwise, older things will also be saved. Okay. So if I now check, you can see field 1 is length, field 2 is breadth, and field 3 is height. And these are getting stored. So, and you can see that here I am taking params, but the variable which I am giving input to my function is params. Here in my function, the variable I have defined as input is par, but the field names are same as what I have used here only. So length, breadth, and height, these field names should not change. This name of the structure can change. Okay. So this is how like again like because I have defined the function. If I want to let's say do it again, if I want to do it again, let's say I'll say P. I'll define a structure P. Okay. So this is some 101, 52, 33, 32, and I'll calculate this value of the function. I'll store it in, let's say, variable 1. And this will into variable 2. So because I have defined the function, I can use many more times in my code. I don't need to like uh, define like I don't need to write this. Here this is a simple formula you can write maybe, but like as I said, there will be a lot of lines of code. So I can run it. I'll get two values. So value 1, let's say this is value 2. So first value is 53 and second value is 528. So that's how I can use the structures. Okay. So remember this, like the field names should be same in your script and also in your function. Okay. And if you don't want to use structures, you can also use like you can give individual variables as inputs like a length, breadth, and height, but you have to be careful while giving the order. So whatever the order which you have defined in your function should be same when you are accessing the function also, the order should be same. Otherwise, you'll get an error. Okay. Okay. Now we will see uh, some function. Okay. So I have uh, taken some lines of code. Now we have to identify what are the errors in these codes. Okay. So I have two vectors. First, I have two vectors, which is x uh, equal to 1, 2, 3, and y is equals to 4, 5, and z is equals to, I am adding these two vectors. Z is equals to x plus y. And then I want to also like display all the values of x. Whatever the values of x are there, I want to display. Let's see. Initially, we'll line by line, we will see what are the errors. Can anybody tell me what is the first error in my code here? See the first line, then see the second line, then see the third line. Line by line, you see what are the errors. Uh, you can
Sir,
tell
sir,
me.
third line, y is equal to rectangle closing bracket is missing, sir.
Yeah, rectangular. This square bracket is missing. Okay, correct. Okay. Now, again, what is the next error?
Sir, that to add any two vectors, dimension should be same, no, sir?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. The dimension should be same. So the dimension of this vector,
1 cross
this is a
3,
row vector, is 1 cross
1
3,
cross.
and this is 1 cross 2. So they are not compatible for addition. So the number of these both should be same. Okay. This is actually uh, 3 cross 1 actually. So these are different columns of this is a column matrix.
Row
Not
matrix.
column matrix, yeah, row
Row
matrix.
matrix.
Yeah, yeah. 1 cross 6, 1 cross 3, 1 cross 3. Yeah. So the sizes are compatible now. 1 cross 3, 1 cross 3, and now you can add. Okay. Next, I want to display the value of x. So
Bracket is
what is
missing.
here, right?
I
X of I, right side on bracket is missing.
Yeah, 1 bracket is missing. Okay. Okay. Another error.
In
There
that
are
for loop, in that for loop, 1 is to
hmm.
5, semicolon is missing.
No, no, semicolon is not an error. You don't need
end
semicolon
is
after
missing,
it.
sir. End.
End is missing. Yeah, end is missing. Excellent.
I think even for
Okay.
I is equal to 1 to 5 also it will run, even though we have only 3 elements. I think then also it will run.
No, that is an error. Uh,
Oh,
it will throw an error. Let's say I'll run this from here to here. You can see the index of the index exceeds the number of array elements. Index
okay.
must not exceed 3. So this array has only 3 elements, but I'm giving this range from 1 to 5. So it should be 1 to 3. So if I run
Sir,
this,
something. Sir, please
yeah,
continue, sir. Please continue.
yeah, yeah. You want to ask something? Yeah, ask.
Sir, sometimes I have seen end is used in place of giving the last element because we are not sure which is the last element. End. Can you just clarify when to use this end, sir? END.
And
Yeah, even sir was using in one of his code.
yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, okay. So see, if you want to, let's say, uh, uh, n, right? Let's say if you have x, okay, I'll just evaluate this. So I have x. So if I want to access the first element, I'll take x of 1. Okay, I'll get this. If I want to get the last element, I can use x of n. Okay, or if I want to, let's say, access from second to the last element. Let's say you don't know the value, you don't know the size of this matrix is 3. Okay, but you want from second to the last element, all the elements in X from the second to the last element, from the second element to the last element. Sometimes you won't be having a simple 1 cross 3 size like this. You might be having some, like, let's say 1 into 10,000 or something. You don't know. Okay. If you want to access the from second to it, you run it, let's like this. So second element is 2 and the third element is 3. So in order to give this range, okay, I am I want to go from first to the last element. So that's why I'm using 2 and 3. In this program, if I want to use and I can use like this length of x. I want to go from 1 to the last element. I can use this also. Instead of using 3, I can use this also. Length of x is 3 and it will be executed. So end is like here it is not used. Let's say I'll do a thing. Okay. Uh, this is my range. Okay. This is my range and I'll comment this. And I is equals to range. So for this indices, I want to uh, calculate, I want to display the values of y for first, second, and third indices. Okay. Let's say this is 7, 8, 9. Okay. I want to display 1, 2, 1, 2, and 3 values. Okay. So this for loop will run for I is equals to 1, I is equals to 2, I is equals to 3, and y of 1 will be equals to 4, and y of 2 will be 5, and y of 3 will be 6, and it will display. Okay, I'll just run it and show. Okay, 4 and 5 and 6 are displayed. Let's say you don't want uh, first 3 values. You might be like now you want to access the now you want to display the last 3 digits of this. So for then what I'll say is I'll not the last 3 digits, but I'll say I want to I've given this range, right? So let's say I want to only get that let's say I want to display only the second and third values. Now what I can do is I can give two range of 2 is to n. Okay, 2 is to n. So the value of I will be the second index of it will be starting from the second index of second index. The value of second index in range is 2, and the end value till it will go on till the end value. Let's say I am giving 4, 5. So it will go on till the end value. Here it is 5. And now I will display. Now you can see it is going from 5, 6, 7, 8, and these are 5, 6, 7, 8. So it is one. It is displaying the 5 second to the fifth element. Okay, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is the second element. This is the third element. This is the third, fourth element, and this is the fifth element. Like that. You understood? This is one example. You can say like you can use end. End means till the last number. Till the last number in your array, whatever you have defined, or something, whatever 2 is to n means it will go 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 till the last number, last index. It will find out all the values in the range from 2 to the end index, last index, and I will take all those values. Understood? Is it clear?
9 is not printed. Why?
9 is not printed because I am saying I want to get the second, third, fourth, fifth elements in Y. Okay. So here you can see I am giving range of 2 is to end. Range of 2 is to end. Let's say I'll print this. Range of 2 is to end. I have range. I have defined this range as 1 to 5, right? Now I don't want 1 to first value to display. I want second to the last value to be displayed. Now if I run this, like you can say 2, 3, 4, 5 will I will access 2, 3, 4, 5. So this I value will take 2, 3, 4, 5, and it will uh, run this command display for I is equals to 2. For I is equals to 2, when I is equals to 2, value of y is 5. When I is equals to 3, when I is equals to 3, the value of y is 6, and when I is equals to 4, the value of y is 7, and when I is equals to 5, you can see this is the fifth index, right? 8 is at the fifth index, fifth. So it is giving me 8. After that, there is no index. I have not taken 6 here. There are 6 values, but I don't want, I have not taken 6 in my range. But that's why it is printing the second index value in y, the third index value in y, the fourth index value in y, and the fifth index value in y, which is 8. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah. If I, let's say, if I have taken 6 here, then it will display 9 also. You can see 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Now, this is one kind of thing. I'll just comment this control R. If I can use control and R, whatever I have given, the lines of code will be commented. Now, we will see. I want to use this. I want to divide two numbers, and I am defining a function which takes my two numbers, let's say 10 and 0, and it will give me the result. Okay. So I have defined this function. Okay. So function is equals to divide numbers. It is taking two numbers a comma b, and it is doing the division, which is a slash b, a forward slash b, and whatever the value of this is getting stored, I am taking this as an output, and it will be printed here. Okay. It will be taken, the result will be displayed here. Like, okay, I'll just say display result. Now, if I run this, I have two values, 10 comma 0, which is a comma b. 10 by 0 is something which we won't be getting. It is infinity. So MATLAB will throw an error. Let's say what it will show. So it will be giving this value infinity. So I won't be able to, like, this is not the kind of input I want. I want, let's say, if I'm getting infinity, uh, like I can't use it. There is like, I want MATLAB to give me a warning whenever there is this kind of situation arises. So now what I'll do is I'll include this kind of conditions in my code such that whenever there is zero, denominator is 0, MATLAB will give me an error like this, and I can uh, let's say if here, if I'm using the if condition here, which says if b is equals to 0, I am saying MATLAB to throw this error, denominator cannot be equal to 0, and it will be displayed in my command line. Then what I can do is I can go and rectify the input values here. Okay. Let's say now if I run this, now you can see error using divide numbers. Denominator cannot be 0. So error in this line. So it is showing you have to change it. Otherwise, you can see that the result was being stored as infinity. So if I want to use that result and do some calculation, it will like you don't know, like somewhere you might be wanting to use the value of result uh, like infinity into something you will get. Then you have to rectify it, like you do, but like things will become complicated. So that's why I want uh, this condition to be satisfied before I'm doing division, and I don't want my result to be infinity. So that I'll give this condition and check my denominator. If it is 0, then I'll request MATLAB to throw this error. So error also I'm defining. This is my error message. Error message should be this. Denominator cannot be 0. Okay. So this is kind of a good programming practice to to include these kind of things. So otherwise, like life will become hell uh, to find out the errors. So we want to uh, we want to avoid errors before uh, they get executed. Like if you are like running a code which runs for 2 hours, uh, like there will be a lot of codes like which we run. Like they take hours to run. Like lot of complex calculations will be going on, and like you need to run it for 2 hours. Like if you have not written the code in an efficient way by including these kind of things, uh, the thing like it will run and you will have some thousands of lines of code which you have written, and you will get some error. Like let's say after 1.5 hour the code will get code will throw some error, and like you will be waiting to get like you'll be having some deadline or something. Let's say you'll be waiting for it to run, and like your code crashes in the middle and it is showing some error, and then you have to keep like you have to sit and check where is the error which is happening. like uh, uh, like you have to go to each line of code. Like you here I am giving this message to my I am telling MATLAB to give this error message. Then it will be simpler for me to go to this line and change the input value. If I have not included this condition here, then MATLAB would have stored this as infinity, and it will have uh, run, and like somewhere it might have like somewhere it will use let's say you will be having some other variable which says v is equals to 2 into b into result. So 2 into b into uh, the result which you are getting by division of r and division of 10 and 0. Then you will get the error. You will go there and again you have to debug it. Like life will become hell. So simple things, like if we learn if we uh, do these things, our life will become very easier, and you like debugging the codes will become very easier. Otherwise breaking the head and sitting a lot of time. So I have this experience. Like I have seen, like here I have written nice codes, like commented everything, all these things I have done. But whenever I used to write the code earlier, I used to write in a very ugly manner. Like even if if I go to the same code, like if I have written this one while ago, like 1 month or 2 months, I won't understand what I have written. Like because I won't give comments, and my variable names will not be good. All these things, even though I am like very good with writing functions, loops and all, but lot of things will be very dirty. Like So the code should be readable. The good programming practice is the code should be readable, which means whenever you come back to the code, whenever you come back to your code, you should understand what is going on. Like if you include these kind of comments like this, define the parameter struct, function to calculate, like these comments will help you to understand the code whenever you come back and read the same, try to understand the same code after some point of time. Or let's say if I'm sending you these codes, if you have to understand these codes, if I should explain them properly to you using these comments, and also my this variables also should be given proper names like length, breadth, height. Let's say if I give something like A, B, C, or something like A1, A1, A2, A3, like it will take some time to for you to understand. Like if I am not giving the function name as calculate volume, let's say I've given function's name as V, just say V. So if I'm not given like calculate volume as the function's name, the like what will you know? Like now again you have to go to the function and see what is the function is doing. Oh, okay, then you will understand this function V is uh, doing the volume calculation. That's what you will understand. So instead of that, if I simply give the name of the function based on the task which is doing, it is calculating the volume. So I should give the name as it is. So length, I should give length, a proper name should be given to length, like variable name, this field name should be length. So it will be easier for you to understand. Or if you send this code to some others who want to use it, for them also it becomes easier to understand without wasting much time to understand by looking at the code and try to correlate things, all these things. So like making life much easier for yourself and also for others. So that's what uh, I would like to say. So it's like use proper commenting, do, let's say this uh, is another example where we have where I want to uh, do the division again. So safe division, I am defining safe division. Okay. So uh, which which executes the division like the same thing which I have done here. Uh, uh, I am doing this in a different way. So I'm using this try and catch uh, co- co- commands in MATLAB to do the same things. Let's see how it will do. So I want to make sure that whenever the denominator is zero, the uh, the program should throw me an error that the denominator should not be equal to zero, and if it is not equal to zero, then it should display the output which I have given. Okay, so I am defining a function safe division here. So see that I am defining this function name properly. Safe, the name of my function name is safe division because the function is doing division, and also it is taking care of uh, the thing that b should not be equal to zero. If denominator is zero, the function should throw me an error, this error, that denominator cannot be zero. Otherwise, if you don't do this, if you don't you include this condition, MATLAB will store it, like MATLAB will store this as infinity. Okay. The result will be stored as infinity. I don't want that thing to happen. So this function, what it is doing is it is dividing two numbers with error handling. And here A is my numerator and B is denominator. So I am writing this, commenting this. A is the numerator, B is the denominator. So if someone comes and read this code, they will understand, okay, A is the numerator, B is the denominator. Like here it is simple because it is A by B, but you will have some bigger complex expression. Then you won't be able to know what it like. You won't be able to implicitly understand, like explicitly understand that the A is denominator and B is like numerator, something like that. So like each and everything, like whatever I want to convey, I want to do is commented here. So then I am doing this and I am doing the division and I'll get. Okay, so this try, what it will do is like try command. It will like I first in the first thing I am dividing 10 with 2. So if this division is okay, it will display me this. Uh, it will display the value of the output which I am getting from this function. Okay. Then if my denominator is 0, let's say if I'm dividing 10 with 0, the thing it will happen is the condition is not satisfied here. So it will catch the message which the function is giving, which is denominator cannot be 0, and it will display the error whichever the message the function is giving us. So it will not display the value which is infinity here. It will catch the message, error message from the function, and it will display. So if I run it, now you can see that this is the value of 10 comma division of 10 comma 2 is 5, and this next statement, which is save division of 10 comma 10, is not is not happening, because the condition is not satisfied and some error is given by the function to our script which is being displayed. Error occurred, and the message here which we have given in the function is denominator cannot be 0. So like this we can use. So some kind of like practices which we can use, okay, to avoid like lot of mess ups which can happen. So commenting. So the first thing is comment your code whenever it is required to improve the readability of your code. Readability means whenever you read or some others read, they should understand. And also give the variable names properly. And like if necessary, you also define them with proper comments. Variable names should be properly commented. Like if you are giving L is equals to 10, then comment that L is the length here, like that. So, and you can also write like this, like you can also divide your code into different parts, like output. This is the, like here we are defining the parameters. Then we are uh, accessing the function to calculate the volume. And then like if you want like another comment, like if you are plotting something, then you can say plotting, I am plotting these things here, like comment. So programming like will be efficient in this way. Okay. Now let's say we have some time left. Let's say we'll just try to code one of this. I have shown you some things. Let's say we'll take uh, okay. Let's say we'll take. I want to write a program that calculates the area and circumference of a circle for a given radius. Uh, for the I am like I want to create two separate functions for the for area for calculating the area. I'll create a function, and uh, I'll define another function to calculate the circumference. Okay, just quickly let's say uh, I'll just say uh, circle properties. Edit circle properties. I'll start a script file. Circle properties. Now now I want to first give the input. Okay. So input, uh, uh, ask the user commenting. Okay. Ask the user to provide the input radius. So for that, I'll use the input command. So input function I'll use, and I'll give this. I want to display this. Enter the radius. Enter the radius. Okay, and I'll use the semicolon because I don't want it to be displayed. Now I want to calculate the area. So for calculating the area, I want to define a function. Okay. So I don't want, let's say area is equals to calculate area. Calculate area, and the input is radius. Now you can see there is a warning here. Okay. Now I have not defined the function here yet. Okay, calculate area, but there it's like you have to define it. So let's edit another file which which has the name same as the function which I am defining, calculate area. Yeah. So now I can define function area is equals to, area is the output which I want, and function name is calculate area, and I want the second line of code is area is equals to pi r square, right? So in MATLAB knows the value of pi, so it's already there. This variable I don't need to like write 3.14. If you write like this pi, it knows pi into radius square. This is the area. So, or let's say this, you can write like r or r. Now see, I am not giving the variable name properly. So I'll write and comment that r is the radius of the circle. Good program. Okay. Now end it. Okay. Now I also want to display it. Let's say area of the circle. So the thing is, I have to convert this into a string. When I'm using display num25-ch29, I want to include it. So uh, you can write comment like calculating the area of the circle or the given radius. Properly commented. Now let's say I want also to calculate the circumference of the circle or the given radius. So I don't want to write because I'm lazy. So I'll just write circum and I can, but the thing is when I am defining this function name, I'll make sure that I'll write the entire name for circumference because it will be easier for someone to access and read the code. Circumference and read. Okay. So now again I have to define this function, calculate circumference. So function calculate circumference of R. So I want this output to be stored. Let's say I will say C. Colon should not be used because I use Python. These things come from that. Okay. So C is equals to 2 pi R. 2 into pi into R. That is the radius, circumference of that circle. And end. Okay. Now you can see that there is some fishy thing which has happened here. That is circumference, instead of circumference I have written circumference. So it is saying that this name of the function is not same as the file name. So I'll say fix it. So okay, I can rename the file and use it, but okay, circumference only will type. And I want to put semicolon because I don't want the output to be printed. So here R is the radius. Comment R is the radius. And you can also give comment like this. See the circumference. Okay, function is defined. Now let's see circumference. Circumference. Okay. Now I want to display circumference of the circle also. Should num2-ch circum. I'll run this code. So I'm using two functions in the same script. I've defined those two functions. I'm calling the two functions in the same script to calculate the area of the circle and the circumference of the circle. So I don't know the radius. I have not given it. I have given this input function which will ask me to give the radius. So I have run it. Let's say I want to clear all the variables previous things which I have run. CLC clear. And now I'll run it. Something has happened. Yeah. So now I'll give the radius of the circle. Let's say 5 I'll give. And enter. Why is it asking? Okay. Display tracking again and again. It is showing some error. I don't know what it is. Yeah, I'll just give, I think input argument is okay. I won't ask, but I'll directly give the value. Okay, so there is some, okay, I have written display is wrong.
Hello.
Yeah, yeah,
So actually in line number 13 and 14, display is
yeah.
there, no? After small bracket, we should have a rectangle bracket.
Okay, okay.
Before, yeah, there, rectangle bracket and closing. Yeah,
And
right.
close it. Yeah,
Thank you,
thank
sir.
you, thank you. This is the problem. Yeah. So like this, we have calculated the area of the circle. So I think this is not formatted properly. I'll just click like this. I'll get it. Let's say even if I put input radius of the circle, 5, 7. Yeah. So this is how we can write functions like to calculate various things. Like if I have another circle also uh, uh, like which is of different radius, I can do it again. I can run it. So like I can ask uh, MATLAB to uh, like ask me for like many times. I can write a for loop here, like first radius, second radius, third radius. Like I don't need to write this area of circle area of circumference formula again and again. I can access the functions again and again, and I can use them multiple times. So, and also we have used the classical example of error which I had done here. The syntax was wrong, too many input arguments. So I had forgotten to use the square brackets. So, like we can do lot of errors. We can go back to the code and like let's say I just forgot the uh, 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 syntax of display. So I can just write help display. What is the format of display? Now I can see display without printing X and all these things. This has given me something. I want to let's say I want to read more about it. I can click on the documentation for display. Like whenever you don't know, like whenever you have forgot syntax and like there is some error, you can go and read the documentation. So it's like this num2-str lay, yeah, no, not this. So MATLAB documentation we can use to read about all the syntaxes, different syntaxes which can use. Okay, okay. I think this you can use this also, and you can go to simply like you don't need to read the documentation. Nowadays, you can just go to some AI tool, ChatGPT or DeepSeek or something, and search for the syntax. Throw it. It will throw a syntax. Or what you can do is you can just copy paste this line of code and ask ChatGPT like what is the error in this line. So it will tell you, okay, this is the thing which you have written wrong, and you can modify it. So I think today we have completed the time. We have discussed a lot of things. Like I had like, this some other things also, like some other examples also, but we couldn't do it. Okay. Whatever we had discussed, I think it was very informative. And based on your questions, whatever the questions which you were asking were very good. So uh, I also
Yeah,
learned things. So
one question, one
yeah, yeah,
request actually. Will you be sharing those small codes that you made, some 4 or 5 codes?
yeah, yeah. I'll share them. I'll share them. I have shared them already. You can go to this course. Okay. Here, if you go to the course, in the course website, you can see in the bottom
Okay,
problem solving session.
okay,
And if you click this, you can see this problem solving session recording. You click here, you will go to this Google Sheet, which has the links. So here, this is my link. Okay, this is the folder which I have uploaded. So Google Drive folder is there. In this, I'll
okay.
uh, put all the codes. You can use them. Okay, all the codes are given here, and there are some these videos are also there. So different YouTube videos for first week, second week. So people have like I think two other TAs are there. They have also pasted their links. So first link is mine. So you can click on this, and you will go to this Google Drive folder. And in this week one, you can see whatever that last week I had discussed a few codes. So all these codes are here. So you can access them. You can
Thank you.
download and you can use them. Okay. Any other questions?
Sir, just last doubt. Sir,
Yeah.
coming to this function, uh,
Mm.
usually function first is output within a rectangle bracket is equal to the function name, then small
Mm.
bracket. Now, when you are writing the code, I just saw you didn't use rectangle bracket, then also it was running. So it
Yeah,
means
yeah.
that you can avoid. Can you always
No,
avoid?
no. Let's say, uh, I will say, let's say I want to access two variables. So here I am just accessing one variable. Okay.
Okay.
I want output only to be area. Let's say I'm using the same code to get the circumference also. Circumference 2 pi r. Calculate area circum. Now I want two outputs here. Okay. I don't want a single scalar output. I want two outputs. So that's why I have to use a square bracket here, and I'll get my output as a vector which has area and circumference.
It is
So
always comma, not colon. It is always, sorry, semicolon. It's always comma to separate
yeah, yeah, it
two.
is always comma. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
This is
And
comma
sir,
only.
okay. I also saw, I think, in one video,
Hmm.
sometimes they are not taking output and input. Means input, they are output. Yeah, output they are not taking. So they are not
Ah.
mentioning output variable. And is it? And one more thing, that one I understood. But equal sign, when let us suppose we are not taking the output from the functions, only we have given input. Then equal sign can be omitted, or equal sign is required in
No,
case
no,
we are
no.
not.
If you are not taking any output, then equal sign is not necessary.
Okay.
You can remove this. You don't need.
Now, usually when we will be using this type of function where we don't want any output, sir, can you just comment
Uh,
on?
See that uh, if you are writing function in the same here I'm writing the function in different files. Okay. So if you are writing the function in this file only, in the script file only. And if you want to do something, let's say if you want to plot, okay, or let's say if you want to just let's say display here only, and let's say display area. This is one example. There are a lot of other examples. Now I'll just run this function. Let's say from here to here I'll run. Okay. It is asking me the radius. I'll say 5, and it is displaying the area. Okay. I'm not taking my result as some uh, uh, I'm not assigning a variable to my result. It is just displaying here. You can see just there is only one value, radius, which is stored in the workspace, and there are no other uh, variables which are stored. This is one way. And if you are if you are plotting something, like if you want to plot something, like you can use plot also. There also you won't require some output to be like stored in the variable, right? So if you just run this function, what that function will do is it will plot something which uh, you have written in this function. Like based on calculations, it will plot something. So like this also you can use, but I won't suggest writing like this. Like you should always define the outputs and also the inputs from the function. Only if it is like plotting or something, then you can avoid output. But if you are like getting some values from the function, like you should be ideally using output variables, defining output variables, and from the output variables, whatever you get, you should store in the variables, and that should be appearing in the workspace. That will be a good programming.
So one last question. Thank
Yeah,
you for clarification. Now, just now you said no that whenever we don't want output,
yeah.
I just had the query. When you were answering this one query, I got it. That
Hmm,
coming to question, when we don't want the output to be displayed, uh,
hmm,
my query is in the main file. Usually,
yeah,
function is not used. We are going to call from the outsource. Let us suppose that I this is my query because I'm not clear with this. My query is in the main file, can we have a function
hmm,
in case we don't want output? And if it is so, what should be
yeah,
the name of that file? Because usually, whenever we save function file, we have to save with the name what we have given for the function. I hope
yeah,
my
yeah,
question is clear, sir.
yeah,
Should
yeah,
I
yeah. I
repeat the question?
understood your question. Yeah, yeah.
Thank you.
Like you want to define the function in the main file itself, right?
In case we are
Mm.
doing, suppose we don't want the output. First, can we do
Ah,
that? And if it is so, what should
ah.
be we saving as?
Like you can I'll just see. I also don't know. Uh, we'll just run and see. Let's say calculate instead of calculate area. I'll just say calculate. Calculate. I'll comment all this. So let's say if I run it, it will ask 5. Run it, I'll give it. So you don't need to change the name of this. Okay. So you can give this some other name also. If you are defining the function in the main file itself, you don't need to name. You don't need to change the name. Like function name and file name can be different here. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
And the thing is, like whenever you are defining the functions in the main file, it should be always at the end of the code. Like it should be at the end. Okay. you cannot define like this. Like you cannot let's say you cannot define the function before, and like you cannot do it like this. It will throw an error. Function definitions in a script must appear at the end of the code. Okay, so it should always appear in the end. See, these other things are commented. These won't matter. Run. Now it runs. Okay.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Okay. Shall we stop here for today?
Yes.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah.
Like you want like do you want any other things? Are you expecting any other thing from me? Like in coming sessions, please let me know. Like you can give me feedback here. Uh, right now, I'll try to improve things, and also I'll try to include those things which you want to. Otherwise, like if you don't have any suggestions, we can stop.
No suggestions. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, okay, okay. Yeah, thank you guys. Thank you everyone for joining. Good night.